Hello, everyone. This is the final video from my recent trip to London. You can always watch them in any order, but I will leave the previous 3 videos linked in the description box if you want to check that out. We are continuing our gallery tour today in Mayfair, starting with Hauser Wirth. As you can probably tell by his signature, colorful transformation of the gallery space, this is an exhibit of new treescapes and portraits in pastel by Nicolas Party. The show is titled Clotho, which is a reference to the figure from Greek mythology of the same name, who is one of the 3 fates who is known to spin the thread of human life. So Party uses this figure as a way to, quote, confront the inevitability of aging and death, 2 themes that have long been central to his artistic exploration. The most obvious reference to this in the exhibit are 2 portraits. There's one hung in each room, we just saw one, that are inspired by 2 sculptural works by Camille Claudel and Auguste Rodin that both explore the weight of aging and physical decline. You can also see this theme mirrored in a more conceptual way in the landscape works that surround the portraits. These landscape works, which depict trees mostly, are meant to really reflect the cycle of life itself. So branches shed and regrow, seasons shift, and what once decays becomes the ground for renewal. It's a really beautiful metaphor. So in their quiet transformations, trees remind us that death and growth are not opposites, but part of the same continual rhythm. Each pastel depicts a treescape in a different condition. So some are lush and green, alive with the fullness of spring or summer, while others are bare and skeletal, their exposed branches echoing the structure of bones. But together they trace the rhythm of nature, so the way that trees hold both life and loss, decay and renewal. In their shifting states, these landscapes become reflections on fragility and endurance, reminding us that periods of rest are not an ending, but a quiet step towards growth, which I think is really beautiful. Another symbol that's only present in one work, actually this work that we're about to see close up here, but that's also represented in the electric blue color on the walls, is that of a waterfall, which is meant to be a symbol of time's steady flow and life's constant change. A reminder that nothing stays fixed for long. So while the trees suggest grounding and endurance, the waterfall speaks to motion and transformation, showing how even what feels stable is always being reshaped by time. We're now going to head to one of my favorite Pilar Corrias locations. It is so cute. It's on Savile Row, and this is an exhibit by Manuel Mathieu, who is a Haitian-born, Montreal-based artist known for his expressive, multi-layered paintings that explore themes of memory, trauma, and transformation. His work often draws from Haiti's complex political history, as well as personal and collective experiences of resilience. So, Mathieu's textured surfaces and luminous palettes evoke both beauty and unrest, revealing how identity and history are continually reconstructed. This show is titled Bury Your Masters, and it features a series of new paintings as well as sculpture in which Mathieu reflects on the legacies that we inherit. So these could be familial, political, spiritual, and how they shape us. So through abstraction and material experimentation, he explores themes of power, empathy, and renewal, creating a space that feels both sacred and unsettled. Mathieu has written a poem as well to accompany the exhibit, which you can access by clicking the exhibition link that I've provided in the description box. He composed it as a part of his broader artistic practice. So his writing, like his paintings, explore themes of ancestry, colonial history, trauma, and spiritual rebirth. And the poem reflects many of the same concerns found in his visual work. So transformation through suffering, the weight of inherited histories, and the search for freedom and renewal. Our next stop is going to be Pippy Houldsworth Gallery, which is tucked away in this little alley right off of Regent Street. You would never know, but it's one of my favorites. This is another gallery space that's more on the petite side, but they always have very high quality shows, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to see this one by Shaqúelle Whyte. This is Whyte's second show with the gallery, which is especially impressive given how young he is. He's almost fresh out of art school. He was born in 2000 and graduated from the Slade School of Fine Art in 2022, and he completed his MFA at the Royal College of Art in 2023. The show's title, which is Winter Remembers April, pays tribute to Wynton Marsalis's interpretation of the jazz standard I'll Remember April, and it also honors several of Whyte's musical heroes, from Boris Gardiner and Gil Scott-Heron to the Beatles. The exhibit presents a series of paintings, as you can see, that explore non-linear time, where past, present, and future merge, and his figures shift through multiple emotional and physical states. So many of the works grapple with how contemporary society embraces Black culture while mistreating its actual creators. And Whyte challenges stereotypes of Black masculinity by re-examining his own body, both physically and politically, across the canvas. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's titled, "Just Slow Down, Don't You Know the Revolution Will Be Televised?" And the phrase is drawn from Gil Scott Heron's 1970s spoken word poem and song, which is critiquing media passivity and how rebellion can become a spectacle. We're going to head just around the corner to another favorite gallery space of mine that is very subtly situated off of a busy street. This is Sadie Coles. This is an exhibit by Arthur Jafa, who is an American artist and filmmaker based in Los Angeles. And he's known for his powerful, immersive videos that weave together found footage, music, as well as rapid fire editing to explore Black identity, emotion, and cultural memory. So, across film, photography, and sculpture, Jafa explores how Black experience can be represented with the same, quote, power, beauty, and alienation that defines Black music. The show features a really nice variety of works that I think are all representative of Jafa's practice. There's moving image works, there's several paintings, there's silkscreen works, as well as cutouts. And he gets his images from footage that he's found, as well as his own personal footage that he's been collecting since the 1980s. Jafa often incorporates musical icons in his work. I'm sure you've already recognized a few. I know I have, because they function as a sort of ghostly figure of cultural memory that briefly surfaces in the present. So for Jafa, these artists embody this elusive electrical force, a tremor of Black cultural life that resists being fully captured. Their presence carries emotional, historical, and spiritual weight, amplifying the intensity and the depth of his montages. In his film works, Jafa often uses musical icons because they embody both the brilliance of their cultural impact as well as the pain associated with their fame. We're now at Thomas Dane Gallery, who actually has two gallery spaces very close to one another. And so on view at both spaces is a show by Dana Schutz titled One Big Animal that features new paintings and sculptures that explore how a group can move or act as a single organism, working together in sync, whether they're aware of it or not. Schutz is known for painting charged, often surreal scenes where figures appear in these strange or impossible situations. Her works often blend humor, anxiety, and emotion, using loose narratives to explore psychological states rather than specific times or places. So, through bold, wet on wet brushwork, she creates images where the absurd and the beautiful collide. In addition to her paintings are her sculptures, which at first glance appear to be made out of clay, almost soft, like you could touch them and they would be malleable. And while they are first created in clay, the final product is actually bronze. I just love how she's able to capture the same texture as her paintings in three-dimensional form. Our final stop of the day is going to be a more petite Sadie Coles location to see an exhibit of paintings by Helen Marten, who is a British artist known for her highly conceptual, materially rich sculptures, installations, and paintings. To create her works, she combines everyday objects, handcrafted elements, texts, and symbolic imagery into these complex, layered compositions in order to play with language, labor, and value, inviting viewers to decode the shifting relationships between materials, images, and ideas. The show is titled Tree Ties of a Coat, which is a reference to the multiple meanings of coat, such as, for one, a clothing, animal fur, to even the layered act of coating a surface. It frames the exhibition as an exploration of how images are covered, revealed, and reshaped through material buildup, repetition, and gesture. The images that she uses in her works are of animals and humans. So by using humans and animals as these central motifs, her work taps into forms that we instinctively understand. Figures that hold both care, tension, fantasy, or vulnerability. It kind of turns them into these symbolic vessels that absorb and reflect our own associations. You may also notice that each work has a box in the center of it, and the purpose of this box is to create a concentrated space for looking, almost like a small chamber where ideas are held, tested, or transformed. And that is all for this video, as well as for my trip to London. But don't worry, I have so much to share with you from my trip to Paris, which will be coming up next. So make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of them. And I will see you all in my next one.